Welcome Home, a podcast for veterans, about veterans by veterans, is a project of Willing Warriors and the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run.
Good morning. I'm Larry Giliox, Director of Culinary Services here at the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run. And this week, our guest is Rachel Miller. She's a program manager with the PenFed Foundation Veteran Entrepreneur Program. And this is a program that's been around for a little bit. We're familiar with it at the Warrior Retreat because we've hosted some of their programs there. Just for clear disclosure, the PenFed Foundation is the largest donor to the Warrior Retreat at Bull Run, and we're very grateful for that. And having them as a partner and having them come alongside us many years ago and help build 2 additional houses on the property. Today, we're going to be talking about the Veteran Entrepreneur Program. It's a great program, and not many veterans know that much about it and that it's even out there. So we're going to fix that, and Rachel's going to help us with that. So, Rachel, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Larry. I just first wanted to just say it's an honor chatting with you. The foundation, PenFed Foundation, just really respects what you guys are doing out there. It was amazing having getting firsthand knowledge of just how excellent a chef you are and your team, and you guys run an excellent program. I haven't stopped thinking about. We had, the opportunity to come out in December for dinner, and that it was one of the best meals, if not the best meal I've ever had in my life. So can't stop thinking about that short rib, and the soup was amazing. I mean, it was all just wonderful. So thank you so much for that and for having me on. I appreciate it.
Well, we sure did enjoy having the PenFed board out, and Chef Fritz is a veteran chef and just an amazing chef and one of our volunteer chefs in our visiting chef program. And just to get everybody out there to help with that dinner was really wonderful. We had a great time doing it too. So tell us a little bit about your background and how you got involved with the Veteran Entrepreneur Program.
Right. Well, yeah. So I I think like a lot of us, we start out, we think we're going to do one thing, and then we change a lot and go through a lot of different, versions of ourselves before we figure out what it is exactly we wanted to do. And I actually started out in banking, of all things. Part-time job in college, as a bank teller, and quickly moved into sales and thought I'd kind of go that route. And moved into like the track to become like a branch manager and stuff like that. And really kind of felt like, this is great and I can make a career out of this. But I really just had this urge to somehow want to make an impact. And so I started looking into nonprofit. I went to work for a couple of national organizations, pretty well-known organizations. And during that time, still, felt like I was making a difference. And I thought, I'm making a living and making an impact. I had young kids at the house at the time and had the opportunity to become a teacher. So actually completely shifted into education. And I was a teacher for 14 years. And as my kids got older and I started, kind of thinking, well, I don't really need to be on their schedule anymore. I kind of started getting this urge to do something different. And I knew that no matter what I did, it needed to be in that same sense, making a living while making a change in people's lives and making an impact. I guess over the summer, I received I get this, daily newsletter from Northwest Arkansas called NWA Daily. And the PenFed Foundation Veteran Entrepreneur Program had a little piece in that newsletter. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. And I just thought this was cool. I love that they're doing this for veterans. I come from a family of veterans. I'm from a military town. I just thought you guys do so much, and what a way to give back. And really it wasn't a job hosting. It was just about the program. I thought this is cool. Well, I happened to be on LinkedIn a couple of weeks later, and I saw the job posting for the Veteran Entrepreneur Program, and I was like, wait, this is that thing I saw in my email. I said, I've got to apply for it. Like, this is where I want to be. Thankfully, it has just turned out to be really the just best career change and the best team, the best mission I could have ever asked for. I mean, we wake up every day asking ourselves, like, how can we help a veteran today? And it's just really amazing to be a part of.
So the program itself helps veterans develop businesses, their own businesses. Tell us a little bit about how the program works and who's eligible.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's a great question. So we always say we're looking for businesses, obviously, that are veteran founded, with high growth potential. So that ability to grow and scale their companies. And we have an application process. It starts with filling out an application on our website, which is PenFedFoundation.org. And we go through an interview process, and then select between 6 and 8 companies to be part of one of our cohorts. We've had 2 last year here in Bentonville, Arkansas, which is where I'm based. But we're actually expanding back to Tyson's this year in 2025, and we'll have a cohort there in May as well.
So that'll be a total of 3 in 2025, and each one is a little bit 8 to 10 people, veterans?
Usually about 6 to 8.
Okay. We're going to put the webpage in the show notes for all of our listeners, but they apply through the webpage, and it sounds as though they need to have an existing business that they're just having trouble making the leap to grow it. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I mean, I think all startups have, their challenges. So we're not going to have, even I say startups, all companies have their challenges. So yeah, have an existing business in that, startup stage, that early stage where they're either just about ready for investment, or they're getting ready for investment and they need that extra coaching, that extra assistance. And the great thing is, when we select the cohort, we have our senior advisor. He comes in and he does like a one-on-one deep dive with each of the founders, because sometimes we think, and this is something we ask in the initial interview, like, what are your pain points? Like, what are your challenges that you think you're facing? But he does a really good job of showing them, hey, you think this is the bigger problem, but actually, like, let's focus on this, because if we focus on this thing, it will take care of the rest. So he's just a wealth of information, such an asset to our team. And then what we do with that is he kind of comes up with, hey, here's what we need to focus on with this company or that company. And then we tailor our the 3-day in-person seminar to fit the founder's needs. So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. We tailor our resources, and they're custom fit to the needs of the business owners.
I'm thinking of a friend of mine who has a seasonings business. And I think, like a lot of entrepreneurs, one of their biggest issues is scalability and how they can scale their product up to broaden their sales. And that sounds like a point where the program could really make an impact with a small business, is to, lead them in the right direction as to how to get the financing, how to get the investment, how to get the product out there. Because I see a lot of small businesses are just sort of stuck at that point where they can't make that leap. And it sounds as though somebody in that position would be perfect for the program. The one thing I'm wondering, though, is that there's no charge for the program. Okay. PenFed Foundation absorbs all costs. How many applications do you get?
That actually is great. We we're inundated with applications, which is a wonderful problem to have, but it does make it tough because we want to be able to reach and help as many veterans as we can.
Right.
But obviously there's only so much we can do, which is why starting in the May cohort of 2025, the Tyson's cohort, we are actually beginning what we're calling an auditing program, which is going to be similar to like auditing a college course. And while they won't attend, the auditing cohort members won't attend the in-person seminar, but they will attend the virtual 6 weeks of virtual sessions and will participate in some capacity there. Now, I'll tell you, we are still building out what exactly this program is going to look like. So I don't have all of the answers, but we felt like that would be a really good way for us to expand our reach and make sure that people who apply, and as long as they have, all of the qualifications and they've submitted everything that we need, that we can hopefully reach more veterans. We're hoping to reach between 30 and 50 additional veteran founders by the end of 2025, which we are very excited about.
Wow. Yeah, that's quite a bit of the change from 6 to 8.
Yes. So we're super excited. So that will be in addition to our 3 cohorts of 6 to 8. So just the auditing cohort members, we're hoping to reach at least 30.
And so I'm an entrepreneur, a veteran entrepreneur, and I apply, and you're looking at my application, and I'm sure you're just almost go blind looking at all these applications. They all probably start to look the same after a little while. But the focus has got to be, and I understand completely that there's going to be a lot of people that need help, but it also comes down to how can you provide help that's most successful? So you pick me, and then what happens? I get invited to a cohort, and how long is it? Where is it? What goes on?
Okay, great question. So it's funny that you say that because about looking at the applications, I am such a sensitive sucker. And so I look at every application. I'm like, yes, which is why we have a great selection team that they bring different ideas and stuff to the table so that we can make good decisions that will make the most impact, like you said. Because if I had it my way, they'd all be a part of it and I would be able to fund it myself, right? So once you are selected, like I said, we do the deep dive. We kind of figure out what your needs are as an entrepreneur, as a veteran founder. And then we will invite you to be one of the 3 cohorts. So we have, the Bentonville, Arkansas is our first cohort. That's March 4th through 6th. Or the Tyson's, Virginia, May 20th through 22nd. And then the third one back in Bentonville, August 19th through 21st. So the way that it works is we fly you in, like you mentioned earlier, we absorb the program costs. So we don't charge founders to participate in the program. We cover their costs of the travel, meals, hotel, all that good stuff, any other program expenses. And the best thing is we take zero equity in the companies. So we don't want costs to be a barrier to participation. And I was thinking about this the other day and I thought, the best way of putting it is we aren't trying to profit off of our veteran entrepreneurs. We are trying to make our veteran entrepreneurs profitable.
Sure.
Right. So they come in and we have a 3-day in-person seminar. And that seminar, the speakers and the workshops are geared toward those things that we discovered through the deep dive that they need. So it may be anything from, branding to our president, our foundation president, Andrea McCarran. She's got a background in broadcast journalism. So she teaches them how to media pitch and she puts a camera in front of their faces and they get to really have that hands-on experience and practice so that when they're having to go do interviews, when they're having to pitch to other people, they have that in their back pocket and they've got that experience. So it's like I said, it's not just this, we're going to talk at you for 3 days. We have these world-class speakers and workshops. In fact, our last one, I was so blown away. We had Gail Becker, who is the founder of Cauliflower. I don't know if you ever heard of that. You know, the Cauliflower, the cauliflower pizza crusts and items. You can find them anywhere now. Mm-hmm. She's the founder. She came and spoke to our cohort last year, and then she knows. I mean, she's been through it, from driving around in her car trying to sell pizzas to Whole Foods. She's been there in the trenches day in and day out, and she's grown such a fantastic company. And so just having that, experience there to talk through challenges, to motivate them, and not only that, but it's also such a great networking opportunity. And when I talk to our alumni, that is the first thing they always say. They say that the program expands their network to mentors, to other veteran entrepreneurs, to investors. So that 3 days, it's just a joy to see, from the time they come in on the first day to that last dinner on the third day of the seminar, the camaraderie that is built, it's unmatched. It's like something I've never seen before, and it's really a sight to behold. So it's really just a great experience, a great growing experience, a great networking experience. And then, like I said, after that, everyone goes home. And then that next week, we start our weekly virtual sessions. Mm-hmm. And that is also when they are paired. Each company founder is paired with an industry expert mentor. Mm. And they work one-on-one with them over the course of 6 weeks to really create an action plan and then execute that action plan.
Mm. Wow. Well, I know it works because I use products from a veteran entrepreneur that went through the program, True Made Foods. They make awesome condiments, ketchups, relishes, and mustards and that kind of thing. And I find them at our local grocery store, and they're fantastic. So I know the program works. There's no doubt about it. Why Bentonville, Arkansas?
So Bentonville, that is actually a great question too. And, Bentonville you can't talk about Bentonville without talking about, of course,
Walmart,
right? World's largest retailer. And so, Bentonville is it is a hub of commerce, innovation. It's a great place. It's very interesting because you have these industry giants like Walmart, like Tyson Foods, like J.B. Hunt Transportation, mm-hmm. that are working alongside of this thriving entrepreneurial ecosystem to create these opportunities for growth. And what's really neat is that Bentonville and Northwest Arkansas in general, when you think of Arkansas, you just don't think about this. But it is wild that this exists in a small little state. Mm-hmm. What's really neat is that we have the region is always proactive in seeking ways to grow well. So it's this place of growth and opportunity, but it still somehow maintains its small town charm, and that's by design. Mm. It actually was named one of the top 10 places in the country to start a career. And I just found out last week that more people are moving to Arkansas than any other state in the country. Which I thought was interesting.
Is it for the jobs around Bentonville, or what's drawing them in? The climate's probably part of it. It doesn't really snow down there that much, but...
Yeah, so actually, I think we're supposed to get 4 inches of snow on Friday. I'm crossing my fingers since I want to sled in my backyard. But I'm sure you guys are like, no, we're done. Yeah. We've had enough.
We are done. We got 10 here in the last 2 days. So
thank goodness.
Yeah.
I think that's it. It's just there's a lot of opportunity here, and just some economic things too. it's a place where you can kind of have the best of both worlds. You have the opportunity for growth and like I said, like that hub of entrepreneurial activity, but you also still have like a good quality of life. Housing isn't as, crazy high as it is in other places. Although I feel like that's kind of inching up there. Yeah. So it's kind of like this perfect little bubble. That's what we call it. It's like a bubble. And in fact, that's why we moved here. We had no other reason other than we just wanted to live here. The quality of life is just really, really good. So we, my husband and I, we were, like I said, from Shreveport, Louisiana, a military town. And about 10 years ago, we kind of started, you go on vacation sometimes and you're like, I could see myself living there. Yeah. And then we actually just did it. So we moved about a year and a half ago and for no other reason. It wasn't a job. It wasn't family. It was, we want to be there. That's where we want to be. Taking it back to the program, that is one of the main reasons why we have it here, because we have so many experts here in this little condensed area that not only do they have the knowledge and expertise, but they want to help people. They want to help these founders grow their companies. And so it's a wonderful thing to see.
Are there any openings left for 2025? Should veterans continue to apply?
Absolutely. Yes. Our application is open and we are narrowing down for our March cohort right now. But we have still yet to solidify May and August. So there's still plenty of time to apply. Okay. And we will, of course, have the application open for the 2026 cohorts as well later on this year. And in fact, the goal is to expand the program to include an additional cohort in the future in Tyson's and hopefully expand to another geographic location as well.
Well, that's good news because it's a phenomenal program. And I think the broader the reach, the more it grows, the more veterans will benefit from it. It's just great. And I think you need to let Andrea know that you've come up with a new slogan for 2025. She should be putting it on T-shirts, PenFed Foundation Veteran Entrepreneur Program. We don't profit off our veterans. We make our veterans profitable.
Thank you. Actually, what I should say, because I've always wanted to say it, yes, chef. Yes, chef. I will tell her.
Okay. Well, listen, Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. This is great information. I'm going to put the webpage on our show notes, and we'll get the word out, and hopefully you'll have a good number of applications come forward still. I really appreciate you taking the time to join us.
Oh, no. Thank you so much for the opportunity. This has been wonderful, and we just appreciate on behalf of the PenFed Foundation everything you guys are doing. Y'all are doing great work out there. And we thank you, and thank you for your service as well.
Well, thank you. And for our listeners, if you have any questions or suggestions, you can reach us at podcast@willingwarriors.org. Till next week, thanks for listening.
The Welcome Home podcast is brought to you by Willing Warriors, a nonprofit organization serving active duty service members and veterans since 2012. To learn more, please visit our webpage at willingwarriors.org.